Hey everyone. My name is Ashwin. I'm from Sports KPI. So we are starting this new thing called Football Diaries, and I'm here with Rounak Nanda. Rounak, could you just give me an introduction about yourself, please?
Yes, hello, my name is Rounak Nanda. I'm 15 years old. I play for the Football Academy of Bangalore. Yeah,
Okay. And Rounak, if I'm not wrong, you were awarded also by the KSFA, right?
yes, so in the Karnataka State Football Youth League, we came second place
Yeah.
as Football Academy of Bangalore under 14.
Okay. So Ronak, I just want to ask one thing. What's okay? Let's go with the first thing. Like, what was your first memory of playing football? Like, do you have your initial memory, or it was just something that you grew up with?
Yeah, so the first memory that I can recall was when I lived in Austin or Texas. My father organized a team with a few students from my preschool to play in a New York State tournament when I was around 4 years old. Our team was named Spitfire, was not really sure about the reason. And our coach was my dad. He was
Okay,
the
so your
first,
dad was your coach.
yeah, my dad was the coach of that team.
Okay,
Yeah,
and so that's like your first memory of football itself.
yeah, pretty much. So
Okay,
that's where
and
I started
like
getting into it.
did other than your dad, so it's like saying your dad had your initial influence on you, right, to play
Yeah,
football.
so he's the one who ignited my love for football.
Okay, and what age were you when you started playing?
This was around the time when I was around 3 or 4.
Okay, so that's when so
So
an
just
early
starting.
started quite early,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Okay, and also now you so the position that you play, right?
yeah.
So did you choose it, or was it someone that asked you to play it, or how did you go about the play position that you play?
So when I started, I just played mostly all positions. I
Yeah.
started as a striker, scoring goals. But I started experimenting with different positions, even goalkeeper. But right now I play as a center back or right back. There wasn't
Okay.
any particular reason to why I chose it, but I like the idea of my teammates being able to depend on me during tough times,
Oh,
and
okay, okay.
yeah, and I could guide them throughout the game.
So like playing when you're playing as defender, like okay, what's your first motive? Like, is it to tackle, or like what is your first thing when what you look at as a defender? And from
So
your perspective, like
yeah,
what do you enjoy playing as a defender?
so obviously the main thing is to defend, to prevent the opponent team from scoring. But that's only the small parts of it. I can command the team, control the team, and keep the good shape of the team. So those are all very important as well.
All right, and like through your age groups, right? So you said you started about when you're 3 years old. So what all type of tournaments did you play? Like, I think if I'm not wrong, you said you were in Texas or something like that.
Yeah, so I was in Texas for a few years. Didn't play. I
Yeah.
only played around one or two tournaments. But when I came to India with my school coach Zaka sir, we went to many tournaments, including tournaments out of the state, a national tournament in Mumbai, and with the first club that I ever played with, PSG Elite Program, we went
Yeah.
to Sweden and played the Gothia Cup, which is a national tournament with over 100 teams.
Okay, so then that means at an early age itself, you were pretty competitive and you understood that like to play,
Yeah,
like if you want to progress further, that it is important to be competitive, right?
yeah.
So yeah, so could you tell me like the from your side, like and especially being a 14-year-old, 15-year-old kid, how important do you think competitiveness is? Because there are players who play for fun, and then there are players who play to compete as well, right? So could you tell me
Yeah.
what what makes you compete? Like what instills that competitive drive in you?
Being able to play with my teammates and find the differences between them. I can also find the mistakes that I make during competitive games and improve on them as well. The competitiveness is extremely
Like, do you think like it is something that you need, and also do you think it's something that you love? Like, do you love competing?
yes, I do love competing. The football spirit in me comes out whenever I play in competitive games. And being able to compete with other teams shows the difference in all of us and how much I can improve when
Okay,
competing
so
with
that
others.
means so you enjoy more of the competitive side than just playing a kickball with your friends then.
Yeah.
Okay, okay, well done. Okay, now of course you are 14, 15 years old. Now what you are called what they say as a student athlete, because you do have you are following your education path. and
Yeah.
of course you are an athlete on the side as well. So could you tell me like the difficulties that arise being a student athlete? That's first, and then
So yeah. So first of all, being able to cope up with the study material, it does get pretty challenging, but it's my responsibility as a student to work hard towards my studies as well. So training in the morning and in the evening does get pretty tiring on school days,
yeah, and
but
so that means do you train early in the morning and then there is you go school and then there's training in the evening as well?
yeah, yeah. So that does get pretty tiring, but I'm at a point now at my age where I have to be able to concentrate on my studies,
Yeah.
and I've got a routine as well, so I can focus well.
Okay, and like, could you tell me the now because now you said you're training twice a day and then there's school, right?
Yeah.
Now, could we talk about how that instills discipline and the discipline side of you comes out because twice a day of training is a lot, and especially for a 14-year-old kid, and it's not just you're 14, you're a student athlete as well. That means you have school after that. So
Yeah.
let's talk about the discipline requirements that are needed in order to take that path that you're going through.
Yeah, so it shows me that I need to work hard as well. Being a student athlete is not that easy. I need to focus on studies too, so I can always have a backup plan. I need to be determined as well to always go for those two training sessions and work my hardest in each training session.
Okay, and now, like, of course, being a student, and being a child, a kid, you're still under the welfare and the care of your parents. So,
Yeah.
could you tell me about the support that you've had from your folks as well? Because
Yeah.
again, like I said, being a student athlete, though there is of course you have your players that help you out, you have your coaches that help you out, but I think this is something that that is quite neglected in a country like India, like the support system that is needed, like your backline, like that comes from your parents.
Yeah.
Could you just tell me about that?
Yeah. So my parents have always played an important role in my life, not just with my football, but everything throughout. They can help. They always take me to my morning training sessions, my evening training sessions, and they always prepare good food for me so I can stay healthy and fit. They also help me cope up with my studies and the difficulties that come with being a student athlete.
All right. Now, on so of course now your dad was a coach as well, right?
Yeah.
So is it like do you always ask his feedback as well, like after a game, and you go home and you have a sit down with him, and like
Yeah.
he tells you, yeah, is that
Yeah.
something,
So
that
I
like
when
culture that goes on at home?
Yeah. So usually even during my competitive games, I ask him to usually record them so he can tell me about my mistakes and what I can improve on during
Okay.
the game. And so I work on those with him as well.
Okay, now of course now again being a 14-year-old kid, now you're getting inputs from your dad and you're getting inputs from the coach. That's a lot of inputs coming to you. So how do you
Yeah.
deal with that?
So I usually try to note them down based on who the coach is. If suppose it's my dad, I know that he can always give me good advice. So I
Yeah.
always keep it noted down and ask him questions about it.
Okay. Now again, now we came to the point that we spoke about. I just brought up the point of coaches. Now, was there any particular coach that kind of groomed you into how you are, especially as a person, not just as an athlete, but as a person that is in the field as well? Because I always believe that it's not just the football player that's playing the game; it's the person that is playing the game as well. It's the individual, and it's the self that plays the game. So, could we talk about your coaches that groomed you and that shaped you? That might include your father as well, because you said father used to coach you as well.
Yeah, my father definitely did help. But if I have to name a few, I would say mainly my school coach, Sudhakar sir from Greenwood High. Under him, I won more than 50 tournaments, including the nationals in Mumbai. We go to Goa every summer as well to play a few
Okay.
numerous tournaments. We also won the Karnataka State Mini Olympics where I represented Bangalore district. We won that tournament as well.
So, like, of course, you had your school coach, right? So, is there any particular signature about him that you really love, and that okay, I would love to play for him? Because it's just not that he helps you in football, but is there something where that's it? Like, I want to play for him, no matter what it is, I will always play for him. So, what's the thing that drives you in him? Like,
He is strict, yes, but he has a Sudhakar sir always has a determination. He always wants the players to improve. So that's what I really enjoy about him.
Okay, now of course now since you're talking about your coaching side, now what do you take more? Do you take criticism better, or like do you take positive feedback better, or do you like to take the bit of the negative sometimes so that it drives you a bit? So what type of person do you think you are?
I do like taking the negative a lot more because it helps me get it helps me get that get more passion to playing the sport. And if I do complete the task that that the coach does give me, I do feel good inside. So I feel like the criticism would be better.
All right. Now, again, coming back to you being a student athlete, so what are your future plans? Are you going to continue down this path, or you don't know? And especially you're 15, I'm guessing you are either in the ninth or 10th grade right now.
Yeah, so I do plan to continue my footballing journey to become a
Yeah.
professional footballer or go as far as I can. I'm even studying physical education in school
Okay.
so I can plan to follow a career related to football.
Oh, so you want to be in this path itself, like
Yeah.
related to football. All right. Now you said that you're studying physical education, right? Now let's talk about what you're learning in theory. And do you think that because you're learning about body anatomy and you're learning about physical education, that it has helped you improve your game as well? Do you think that has come about?
Yeah, especially during injuries. If I do get injured, I know which muscles and which part of the body to be treated. So
Oh, so that means like your injury management has come to you from quite an early age, because I would say at least from that age group is where they don't know how to manage certain things. Like it can either be
yeah,
discipline, or it can either be maybe lifestyle, or it can, in your case, like you just said, injury. So of course,
yeah,
what you're studying has helped you through your career or through your path, right?
yes,
And also now, let's speak about role models. Now let's speak about role models. Like for me, my role model, I started playing football because of David Beckham, because for me he was such a role model for me. So, and do you have any particular Indian role models, and do you have a foreign one? Like okay, well, let's, and it can be any sport, can be even be a movie star as well. But let's talk about. Could you tell me why they, or like he or she is your role model
yeah,
from both
yeah.
the
So
Indian and foreign
so
perspective?
so when I first started playing football, I didn't have a particular role model. I just enjoyed watching the games with my dad. He used to like Ronaldo and James Rodriguez a lot. But
Okay.
when I was around 11 years old, I started to think of Wayne Rooney as my role model.
Okay. And was there any particular reason you thought of him as a role model?
So whenever I used to watch him play, I always used to be entertained and inspired by the way he scored goals. He's also the reason why I'm a Manchester United fan. So
Okay, yeah, yeah, perfect. So I'm guessing behind you, is that a Manchester United?
yeah,
Okay, so you are a
yeah,
United fan. Okay,
yeah.
so now let's talk about maybe the club that you support. Has that brought in any type of culture in you? Because I always believe like certain clubs you support, they always instill something in you, because that's why you like a club or you like a person, right? Now let's
Yeah.
talk about something that because you support United, what has that taught you as a person? That's first, and as a footballer as well.
Yeah, so Manchester United has a lot of youth players, especially from the under 18s.
Yeah.
So it shows me that from whatever age you are, you can play football at professional level, no matter how difficult it is. You can if you work hard, you can always achieve your dreams.
So you're talking like age is not a problem. Age is just a
Yeah,
number, but like if you have the determination and the will, you will move forward. Especially right now in the culture where they always promote young players, and you are very much right, because it's a culture in that club. And
yeah,
like you said, it has brought that in you, that where you feel like okay, this is what I want to do as well, right?
yeah,
All right, and the last question, like you said, this is the first thing you brought about as well, where your dad used to record your games. So let's
yeah,
talk about a bit on video analysis, and let's talk a bit on data and statistics. Like after your game, you understand how many passes that you made, how many passes, like especially in the professional game, like you get a statistic or a statistic profile of a player. So
yeah.
could you tell me again, from a personal point and from a personal point, like how has video helped you? Because like you said, your dad has always like more or less kind of recorded your matches, and after that you
Yeah.
guys have a sit down, you guys talk. So could we talk about how that has helped and shaped you as a person and a footballer?
Yeah. So when I get the stats and analysis of my games, I usually try to find players who are playing better than me on the field, so I
Okay,
can learn
perfect.
on how they play and how they perform on the field. So I do ask my dad a few questions about it, and he always answers them perfectly. So I do. and this also helps me find places where I can find my mistakes and need improvement.
All right, all right. And now again, when you're talking about stats, so now as a defender, like which is that one, like which is the one particular stat that you like? Of course, you can't say things like keeping the line because that does it's not objective. But
Yeah.
what is that one objective stat that if they quantify about you, you would love? Like what is that one?
Interceptions.
Interception. Is that something that
Yes.
you really like? So is
Yeah.
that like a is there a favorite player that you role model yourself for interceptions?
Yeah. So there's one player from Manchester United, Aaron Wan-Bissaka. He's the right back
Yeah,
for
yeah,
Manchester
yeah.
United.
Very good in his defensive duels. Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you? So is that why you? So you kind of model your defensive roles on him as well, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
He never
perfect.
gets
Now,
beaten. So
and finally, when you play the KSFA Youth League, right? So let's talk
yes.
about two things. You the best game that you felt you played, and a game where you felt no, I think I wasn't up to my mark. So let's talk about the best game that you played.
So the best game that I played was against FCBU,
Yeah.
Football Club Bangalore United. I felt like I played good there, played for the team,
Okay.
and made some good tackles and good interceptions in there.
And yeah, like I said, is there any particular reason why? Is there any one particular moment where you felt that's it? This was the moment I knew that I played well that day.
So yes, I did. There was one time somewhere in the first half where I made a very good through ball to my right winger. I felt very good at that time. So
And that kind of brought your confidence up,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Perfect. Now let's talk about the counter side. Now, a game where you felt you did pretty bad, and let's talk about the moment where you realized that okay, the game is not in my hand right now.
Yeah, so the game that I didn't prefer was the game against Raman, our
Okay.
first game against Raman. It was towards second half when I realized that my players were not interested, that they were getting overconfident about this team.
Okay, and
Yeah.
do you think that kind of brought you down because and you lost your head maybe as well?
Yeah, I wasn't performing well either, wasn't making some good passes.
Okay, so like I said, was there any significant moment that you did where you felt you lost the game mentally? Like you lost the game mentally. Was there any particular moment?
There was one when I was not able to give a proper through ball and give an easy pass, which made me feel down. So
Okay, and that kind of backlashed against the whole
yeah,
team, right? So that's pretty brilliant. So because especially as a kid, we need to know that okay, these are the times I felt good and these are the times I felt bad. And again coming back to your parents and especially your dad being a coach, is that something where you really talk about where you guys talk about emotions in the game and you talk about how you feel while you play the game?
yeah. So most of the time we do talk about how the game is and how the game was how the game is supposed to be played. Yeah.
Okay, okay. Anyway, thank you so much, Ron. This has been a pleasure, and I will see you soon. Good luck with your
Yeah.
future and good luck
Thank
with
you.
your journey, man. Yeah,
Thank
thank
you.
you.